So maybe you're wondering, so what am I supposed to do if I am having a challenge at my workplace, either with the way I cope with the stresses, or with my productivity, or with my relationship with others, or with my attitude, or also sometimes, like I've told you, with my behaviors and feelings, if they're being affected because of the challenges at my workplace, how can I deal with that? Okay. And so I'll give you a few to snippets here and there that you can use, okay, to 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 promote good mental health at the workplace. I know there are people who will talk about how organizations and managements can help us with promoting good mental health. But right now, I just want for you, first of all, to know how yourself, because let me tell you the truth, it doesn't matter how much external, as psychologists, the organizations, the people here and there, the government, the non-state actors, it doesn't matter how much they try to put in measures to help you promote good mental health. If yourself, you're not taking care of your mental health in your own way, in your own little way first, before we start looking at external help, there'll be a problem, Badu. It doesn't matter what is done, okay? So, first of all, I'd say if you're finding that you're having a hard time with those things that I've mentioned earlier, any of them, have you developed some simple strategies that you can use to feel better? One could be talking to someone, okay? A friend, your mom, your sister, your psychologist if you have one, just talk to someone if you're feeling this is becoming too much for me to bear. Number two, it could be probably just finding an activity that you can do to help relieve the pressure that you're feeling or the stresses that you're having from the workplace, okay? So it could be music, it could be bowling, it could be hiking, it could be walking, it could be watching. But a disclaimer, when you are coming up with such activities, take care that they are not, number one, becoming addictive, and number two, you are not solving the issue, Bado. So if I'm having a problem with my colleagues, for instance, we are always in fights, it doesn't matter how much I try to do an activity so that I can relieve either the anger I'm feeling or the sadness I'm feeling, the problem is still there. So what are you also doing to solve the problem? Are you setting boundaries? Are you communicating? Are you explaining your expectations, so that at least there can be a way that you're trying to resolve what the problem is? Or are you unproductive and you're maybe just, so you've been feeling you're unproductive and you're sad about it, and instead of, okay, it's costing you maybe your sleep, or you are not eating well because you're feeling, it's like I'm becoming irrelevant, it's like I'm not delivering. And so instead of you looking for ways to become productive again, number one, by finding out what is making you unproductive, demoralized, okay, unprepared, and then now after you've figured out what is causing that, then you start coming up with a way to deal with it. Should I read more? Should I research more? Should I look for people that I can work with so that they can help me, improve what is making me, or what is making me unproductive? Or am I just supposed to seek for help? Probably you're being overwhelmed. Probably it's burnout. That's why you're becoming unproductive. So you don't run to an activity to help relieve the pressure you are feeling and those feelings, and you're not solving the issue. So that's why I get that disclaimer there. And then also another thing that maybe you can do is looking for a support system, someone that I can always run to when I am having these challenges at my workplace, okay? And that is for you to do. Mimi kama Sarah, even if I'm your psychologist today, I cannot help you look for for someone to come and support you, or a group to come and support you if yourself you cannot identify one from either your circles or from even online. By the way, nowadays there are podcasts, there are people here and there, like there are so many ways that you can connect with something that you can call a support system, okay? And also it can be even a family member, just someone that you can talk to at the end of the day and tell them, my work was like this and that today, and yeah, this is where I'm at. And maybe they'll just listen, maybe they'll help you come up with strategies. Bora you have a support system. And then also check. Now another thing that will affect your mental health is if you're not putting boundaries at your work, even if you're self-employed or you're working remotely. What are some of the boundaries that you've put in place to ensure that you're taking care of yourself? For instance, it could be I won't sit for 6 hours consecutive. Maybe I'll take a walk, I'll be hydrating as I am seated here, I'll be watching at how I am taking my meals. Either I don't overeat or I don't undereat, I will not, I'll take care with how I am socializing with people during my work hours. I won't do it too much, or I won't also avoid people. It's very important for you to come up with such strategies and put boundaries that are going to help boost your mental health. Okay? Yeah. And if you are having issues with maybe sleeping or socializing with people, or also you started behaviors that you didn't have in the past, for instance, abuse of um, drugs and substances, then there is an issue, and you're supposed to watch that. So that could mean watching your company, how identifying what time this challenge started. When did you start abusing drugs, or when did you start having suicidal thoughts? Because that's a behavior also, and those are some of the side effects that can be brought about by our work environment. So you start thinking about it and coming up with ways to deal with it. Now, let me tell you guys, everything to do with mental health, you have to be very intentional, you have to be very disciplined, okay? And you have to have support, like I've said over and over again during this Nini. Because if you're not intentional, you'll come up with ways to deal with that, maybe habit, or with that feeling that you're feeling, or that behavior or that attitude that you've developed. But if you're not intentional about it and you're not disciplined, within a few weeks umerudi kwenye ulikuwa, you're back to where you are. And that's so risky, because kidogo kidogo, we say, eh, what do they say? I don't know how to say it in English, but haba na haba ujaza kibaba. Like the moment you start doing it a little bit, a little by little, it becomes much, and it becomes more, and it becomes exceeding. And now you're causing problems in your life that might be permanent, or for you to undo them, they're going to take a lot. It won't be easy for you. So before you get there, please practice being disciplined, be intentional about everything to do with mental health, whether it's by communication, by setting boundaries and all that. So lastly, please, if you're doing all these things to help improve your state at your workplace, and then you realize, I'm putting in so much to improve my mental health and to make my workplace good, and you're not receiving it back, it's time for you to reconsider some things, okay? And it's time for you, some decisions won't be easy, but itabidi you make those decisions. So take care and have